Hope we're all doing really well this evening, Wednesday, 17th of September. Scott's already in the chat. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing extremely well. This evening, let me know what you're all up to this evening, and we'll go through the show. Probably going to do an hour or so tonight. Obviously, depending on what we do in the chat, depending on what goes on tonight. So yeah, one thing I'll always say as I get into this chat is one of the things that we do on here is that we are very respectful of each other's opinions. Nobody minds the banter. Banter's fine. There are two lives tonight. There should only be one. This should only be one, but yeah, I might have put another one up and not taken the other one down. Yeah, Andrew Edwards, holla senor. So hopefully this is the only one that's going to be live tonight. That is what happens when you put the kids to bed, and yeah, and trying to do things in a rush. So I've got FC 26 as well, ready to go for, and this is all thanks to Scott's idea. So probably going to do some sort of stream in regards to that as well. See what goes on. If you guys want to participate, then maybe we could do some sort of collaboration together on the FC 26 teams. I'll do like a walkthrough on it as well, and let's see what happens if your Xbox is tomorrow. Well, I'm Xbox, so let's see what happens. I do have my I honestly, right, I genuinely can't believe how much FIFA cost me. It is a ridiculous amount of money. You just have to take a quick flavour to New Zealand. Yeah, it's I genuinely can't believe. Get into the chat. I genuinely can't believe how much it cost. It's absolutely ridiculous amounts of money, and I'm blaming Scott for this one. So Scott, it is entirely your fault for giving me the idea, and now it's on there, ready to go. Let's get into it today. So yeah, so the financials come out today. Again, just get into the chat. Let me know anything you want to talk about tonight. These evening shows I'll come up with a topic really, and then you guys kind of spitball with it, and we can go off on a tangent tonight. So these evening shows are some of the best ones that we do. So I think the first place to start, and I think Andrew's going to have a good opinion on this one. So let's get through the financials. Chelsea are getting beat. I saw that. I did sit 2-1 before I came in here. Also, I saw the highlights of Dortmund against Juventus. What's the story with United? And actually heard some stuff come up, but haven't got into it. So I'll give you some of the headline figures. I've got two piles of notes because I've written some stuff down. So let's get into it. So revenue-wise, bearing in mind we have no Champions League and we finished 15th last season, 666 million in revenue. So that is basically just in the money that comes into this club. Now, I do have that written down somewhere. Let me find it. So basically this all comes from revenue on the match day, which is pretty much a record for an English club. So when people come on here and tell us that we're not a big club anymore, that we're not a big draw anymore, so the match day revenue is 160.3 million, which is a record for an English club. So even though we finished 15th last season, where we didn't do well on the pitch, the revenue was record for us. Commercially as well, we made 333 million as well, and there are a few bits and pieces in regards to that as well. In terms of the online stuff, in terms of that sort of aspect. So in terms of revenue wise, it just goes to prove what we've been saying on here, what I've been saying for quite some time, is that even though sacked all those dinner ladies and reduced our operating costs by 17.9, not sure it was worth it for the publicity. Exactly, Andrew. There are making 17 million quid. Now, interestingly enough, hey, Tulip Plays, I hope you're doing extremely well, and I hope the studying has gone really, really well as well. So I hope you are getting your head down and doing some work. Yeah, guys, get into the chat. Give the video a like. It really, really does help us out. Now, to go over some of the headline stuff as well, the positive stuff as well, is the wage bill fell as well to the lowest that it has been in the last 2-3 years. So that fell to 313.2 million. Amortization has gone up, so it does prove that we buy plays, but also it does prove that we've spent far too much money on plays as well. First exam is tomorrow. Fingers crossed for you. I genuinely hope that you do well. Come and let us know how the exam went. So amortization went up as well, so over 190 million spent on play. So in terms of what does that prove? That does prove Bayern CEO once said we could increase ticket prices and make an increase 15 a year, but in footballing terms, that's an agent fee. Exactly, Andrew. And I absolutely agree with that. You probably said it better in German. Andrew, I absolutely agree with that. I think sometimes the cost and the damage it's more profitable and beneficial for the brand in terms of, yes, you'll make 15 million quid, but the damage that can do to the fan base is probably worth a lot more than that. And even if it's not, as you say, why put that on the fans and make them unhappy, right? So I absolutely agree with that completely. Gross debt went from 546.6 million pounds to 637. So borrowed another 130 million pounds. Now, what that has done, this has increased our debt to the biggest debt that we've ever had in 15 years. Our debt currently stands about 1.2 billion. I'll need to let that sink in for a second. Now, a lot of this, again, I've read this. I've been listening to financial experts today, reading a lot of stuff on this. The financial report is absolutely huge. I'll try and put a link in the video description as well. There were also exceptional costs as well, whereby 36.6 million was spent on sacking Erik ten Hag and his team. Now let that sink in as well. 36.6 mil sacking Erik ten Hag and his team. 36 million. That is a ridiculous amount of money. It's funny that as football fans, we all turned into the top level accountants when in reality, it doesn't matter. They will spend and not spend whenever they decide. Exactly that. I mean, I am an accountant. Well, I was anyway. But it's true. It is true. I completely, I'm by no way a football expert, but I think it's really interesting to talk about these figures. People. The problem with these figures is that you can look at these and you can use it to basically suit whatever rhetoric and story that you're trying to push. So I could come on here and say, look, the positives are that we made 666.5 million pounds. Matchday revenues are up. Commercially wise, we're up as well. However, the downside to that, and of course the wage bill decreased as well. So these are all good things. However, then when you look at these figures, and I think Andrew, you're absolutely right, is that it doesn't really matter. But I do think it's interesting to talk about this stuff. Blue Game says, watch Chelsea and Bayern first half is not looking good for United. we can come on to the Chelsea game as well, because it's interestingly enough as also I think I mentioned yesterday. Did Scott? Oh, Benja, you are absolutely hilarious. That cracks me up. So one of the things that I wanted to say as well. So Sir Jim. Now, Sir Jim towards the back end of last year basically said that we were going to run out of cash. So obviously, Sir Jim has put money into the club, and I think we've spoken about this before. Avid has said, "I saw a cute girl staring at me. I don't know if she likes me or wants me out of the country." That's hilarious. I really want FC 26, but it's just so expensive. We honestly need to reduce the game price to at least 50. I got FIFA Club today. All thanks to Scott. I blame Scott. It's absolutely ludicrous how much it costs. Basically, £100. I blame Scott completely for that. But yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff on the channel in regards to FC 26 as well. But yeah, it is a ransom. Adam slightly says 666. You serious? Yes, I am now. Even though we made 666 million pounds, we actually overall made a 33 million pound loss. So you can only imagine if the debt wasn't here, it would be absolutely ridiculous what we could do. Now, to bear in mind, that's not even like the Champions League. Let's have a little look, see what else we're saying. If you play Ultimate Team, worth it in the long run. If you don't, you've been fleeced. On it would have been a better deal. I'm probably going to do some Ultimate Team stuff in here, Andrew. Even though I will tell you now, I'll be totally crap. But it's going to be worth a watch just to see me get hammered every week. So I will do my best. The last Ultimate Team I did, I think, was 2014, 2015. So Benja, Andrew, if you want to watch a middle-aged man, yeah, okay. If you want to watch a middle-aged man get spanked, and we're not talking OnlyFans, then yeah, this is going to be the place to be, because yeah, I'm going to get spanked harder than your mum. I'm not saying that your mums get spanked, but yeah, I'm going to absolutely get annihilated. So I think it's going to be worth comedy gold watching me try to do Ultimate Team or whatever it's called these days, because I will actually lose. So Sir Jim, let's talk about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Now, Sir Jim reckoned that we're going to run out of money. Now, it is an utter load of bollocks. Now, really interesting. I can't remember his name today, but there was a football financial expert, and one of the things that he's alluded to is what division did you get to, Benja? Is that Surge FC made me so mad I switched to Death Stranding and walked. Benja, I spent many hours walking around in that game with ladders, and just going for a long walk. I was Division 9 in FC 20. I had a pretty good team and destroyed 40-0 and 13. Think Jeddah, love you. I love you too. So yeah, so Sir Jim's rant about how this club was going to run out of cash, and he was the savior. Now, I can't remember his name, but football financial expert came on and basically said that it is a load of bugs because of the size of United and their commercial strength and what we're able to do and achieve. We generate enough cash to be cash sufficient. So but so basically, it was a PR exercise by Sir Jim. Nobody's going to come out and call him out on it. I do wish that people would. So Sir Jim was, as I feared, ESA loser. Me a loser? I don't know. So let's go back over it again. So if you have just joined, please don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Give us a like. It costs nothing at all. Double tap the screen or wherever you are. Give us a like. So revenue, give you the headline figures. 665, which with no Champions League, I think is absolutely incredible. Matchday revenue 160.3, which is a record for an English team. Commercially, we made 333 million, and then basically from online and merch and that kind of stuff, everything added together adds up to 666.5 million pounds. So I think that's absolutely incredible. So when people come on here and say this club is done, they say this club is finished and we're not a big club anymore. It's absolutely a ridiculous statement to make. However, the club has, in the financial statement, made another statement basically saying that the revenue is expected to drop next year between 640 to 660. Does anyone else use Paramount to watch Champions League in the States? I think I've used Peacock to watch some Premier League games. Matchday revenue is going to huge drop next season, and no Europe, the Grimsby things, significant decrease in home games. Exactly, Andrew. So, when you're looking at the statement and you look through the notes, Andrew, I think you're absolutely spot on, my friend. I think when you're talking about European games and when you're talking about as many games as you possibly can, Andrew is absolutely spot on. The revenue will drop because we are not in European competition. Therefore, we're not going to play as many games. As Andrew says there, the fact that we lost to Grimsby means we're going to have less games, less European games. So we are going to see that matchday revenue drop, and hence that's why they're putting up the tickets to basically to basically counter for that loss as well. So I think that revenue will drop, and I think the ticket prices will increase, which means that they're going to be putting that, as Andrew has said as well, quoting the Bind CEOO, is that you don't putting that onto the fans. It's just going to annoy the fans. So I think what you are going to see from the club, looking at this, is that they're going to be putting up those ticket prices again. So if you are a fan that goes to the match, again, I always respect the fans who go to the match. They are the lifeblood of this club, and I think that what they do is fantastic, and I think you are going to suffer for that. The wage bill as well fell. So the wage bill fell to 313, I think, from about 162, I think. Which, when you actually calculate the wages that we saved, I think we'll save even more wages next year. The exceptional costs. So when we're talking about sacking Amorim, get in there with your comments again about Amorim. We need passion right now. I agree. What's your ultimate team going to be? How much are you going to spend on the game? I've basically gone and got the whatever the top is. So it's about like 100 quid, which is ridiculous. Apparently, it's like Sky Sports or whatever you got streaming for the Champions League is not been working. My top team is OP. I'm going to visit some family for a month, and United have some pretty winnable fixtures. Thankfully, I haven't kicked the football in months, and they have lots of open space for me to practice. I haven't kicked the football in about, God knows, about 15 years. do listen to my song. Coolio Powerhouse is my song. What is your pre? Hey mate, what's the nearest toilet? Don't understand, Lawrence. Offering, I need more world-class players in fan pay. For all, I need the best in class. Were you a financial advisor? No, I was just an accountant. One of my jobs was basically looking at P&Ls and balance sheets, so statement of financial position, the income statement for lots and lots of companies that we had. Are probably on a monthly basis, probably controlled about 30 to 40 P&Ls, 30 to 40 the balance sheet, cash flow statements as well. So and again, lots of inputting into accounting to make those numbers work. So from a financial statement perspective, by no means am I an expert these days. That's not a job I've done probably in about 6-7 years. But the core principles of accounting you don't forget. So wording and that kind of stuff, you sort of never forget that. Had dictate on and at Greenwich Comedy Festival. I had dictate on at Greenwich Festival. What's your score for the prediction weekend? Let's get into that as well. I think Chelsea are going to win. I don't like predicting other teams' wins, but we've spoken about on here. I'm a realist. Now, I'm not going to say things for the sake of it. Other channels I've seen that they're like, I've got a feeling that we're going to win. I've got a feeling. I don't think we're going to win. I think it's going to get a lot worse for Amorim. I'd love to win, but I don't see the point. This is where I'm at on this. Is that I don't see the point in winning if we're then going to lose the next 2 games. I want to win and I want points, but if all this is doing now, I am Amorim in. Number 1, Hunter, jolly evening. Welcome, my friend. You are a legend. Matchday fans will be able to afford it. Will be priced out happily by the club. They can replace them with tourists. The price you pay to be a big side, someone is always willing to take your seat. Exactly, Andrew. And that's one of the things, Andrew. Again, mate, tonight you are smashing it out of the park, Andrew. One of the things in the financial statements that come out today, and there's a massive section of notes on there. And one of the notes on there, it basically says that they are confident with the revenue because basically they're oversubscribed for matchday tickets, for season tickets as well. So you're absolutely right. Is the reason why they will increase the prices is because somebody will pay those prices, and even if they don't get season tickets, there are people there to take those tickets up and pay on the day. So you're absolutely right. They will eventually, I believe, what they want to do is they basically want to make season tickets for the super rich. So, and they will bring in this this subscription. It's not called a subscription, but they will bring in a fee for you to just basically have a seat, which will be quoted between £400 to £3,000, which is what they do in the NFL. I think to basically have a subscription for your seats is about £30,000, and that just gets you your seat, that gets you your spot, and then your season ticket is on top of that. So I ultimately do think that that's the model that they will that they'll use. And then what they want to do is, they know that they're going to fill the stadium, and they basically want, they almost want the riff-raff out, right? That is exactly what they want. They want the working man out. They want you guys who go to matches, who's your dads, your mums, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles. I've been going for many, many years. And eventually they're going to price the local fans out. So it's going to be a really sad state of affairs. Poke that like button. Exactly. Get poking away. Absolutely. Did you paint the bathroom yet? Yes, I'm on PS5. I've only spent £70 on it. I went up for the maximum deal because I think if I'm going to spend 70 quid, I might as well then spend like 100 on it. So suspect Amrin will be fine even if we lose against top teams for this year, or until the midfield is sorted. If he loses continually against inferior opposition, he'll get sacked. We obviously, number one, we did I thought we did a really good show in it. There was a story by Indicator on X. Love them or hate them. I do think they mostly talk a load of nonsense, but had to bring it in to the show. Do I think there's some truth in it? Yes, I do. But I don't think there's a secret plan, a secret code thing to basically get him out. Now, why the club would give that to them, I don't know. But I do think that Amorim is on thin ice. Particularly, Sir Jim has come out and basically said that he expects the squad to get Champions League football. And then when you look at the financial statements as well, the fact that European football, without that, the revenues are going to drop, and they are itching to get this club back there. But sadly, unless they invest in the squad now, this fan base is not going to give them time. So I do believe that there is some. I want Amorim to survive. Even for me, if Amorim finished 15th again, and he's going to get time to build, I would still keep him in this club. But will he get time to do that? And I do agree with you. Number one, I do think he needs to be given time. You might have made a big mistake saying 6 or 7. I said we'd finish. 10th, I think. If anyone predicts a United win at this point, you're on some heavy illegals. Mr. Hunter, I'll pick you up with one hand, boy. I'll pick you up in one hand, boy. What are you talking about? Real talk. Okay. Don't know what you're talking about there, mate, but give me some context. Mr. Hunter, give me some context. What are you picking up with one hand? I guarantee you're not picking up my third leg with a single hand, my friend. Amorim has to move Bruno from the centre of midfield. Slot, absolutely zero excuse. Agree with you. I completely agree with you. I absolutely think that he needs to move Bruno back in to 10. Thomas Mousley, what's your thoughts on facing Chelsea and a return on Garnacho on Sunday? If Garnacho scores the winner for me, I think Garnacho will play. I really hope these plays absolutely crunch the little prick. Pardon the language, but I absolutely hope somebody puts a cruncher in on him. It's too bad these are not the Roy Keane days, because I am telling you now that Keane would absolutely take him out. He'd probably be taken out and he'd stay out for a couple of years. So they will be shaking his hand and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to think, so Thomas, this is where I sort of am in it, right? We have one game a week. Chelsea are playing tonight. We should be all over them on when we play them. We should be absolutely all over them. I think the best case scenario is a draw. Do I think that we can win? You never know. The problem with this side is that you don't know what you are going to get from week to week. These are a pick and mix bunch of idiots. When you factor in, but again, and I'll be Amorim consistent, but when you factor in Amorim, the sort of Amorim effect, who's not playing people in their positions, you don't know what you're going to get. So if Amorim picks the team and puts, I'm not saying he needs to change formation. He's not going to do that. But be stubborn in the right circumstances. I want to see Luke Shaw taken out. If Bruno's not going to play in a 10, just take him out. So I want to see Mainu in. I want to see Bruno at 10. Luke Shaw gone. And if he does these things, then I think he'll buy himself time because he does need time. Cristiano or Lionel Messi. What I'll always say, and I'll be consistent, is Cristiano is the epitome of hard work, and Lionel Messi is a gift. Lionel Messi is only as good as he is because he's got the gift and because he works extremely hard. Cristiano, in terms of talent, probably not as naturally gifted, but as an athlete, definitely. But again, if it wasn't for his hard work, he wouldn't be where he is. We're hosting the World Cup, top that England. Yep. Yep. Yes. Only reason we win is Bayern lower their morale, bring them tired, and putting us on a once in a blue moon performance and Le Mans starting. I want to see Le Mans start as well. I think you're right. I want to see Le Mans start, but you don't know what we're going to get. We made an average Chelsea, so we made an average City team, and City were not good. They didn't play well. They counter-attacked on us. They weren't great. We made an average City team look brilliant. So how are we going to make a Chelsea team who are, I think, probably playing better stuff and got better players? How are we going to make them look? And I genuinely don't know. We could have anything. We could have, I could see us, right? I could see us winning 3-0. I could see a draw. I could also see us getting spanked. And this is what I absolutely cannot call the match. So if I was going to put a bet on, I would put on a draw. We don't get to Friday. Balmoral confidence. Yeah. Shot 44 says, hi, Booty Hunter. I answer that question. What's your biggest dream? Shot 444. What is my biggest dream? That's a very, very good question. What is my biggest dream? That's a really good question. I don't know. This is going to sound like a really, really corny line, right? But I pretty much got everything that I want to get in life. I've got a home, which I own. I've got a family. I've got a wife. Some people maybe just like, that's like a bad thing. I happen to have stumbled on this. I'm very, very lucky. I think for me, sometimes you can chase your dream, and I think that's fantastic. But for me, my biggest goal in life is basically to be happy, healthy, and sometimes people want the world, but sometimes you sort of should be happy in your position. I'm very, very fortunate. I've got like healthy children, and I'm very, very happy. I would like a Ferrari. I'm not going to lie. I would like some sort of nice car, but in general, pretty happy. If you're buying if you're buying packs and all that, it's nonsense. I'm 100% Amrin in. I'm back him. I do not back him using Bruno. Number one, I am with you, my friend. I absolutely back him. I will continue to back this manager. If he's stubborn, he's going to sack himself. I don't need to be Amrin in or out at this point. You need inside information to Amarin is skating. Yeah, he is, and as we spoke about, I think this indicator thing and whatever else come out, everyone is biting on it. And I mean, Scott, I think he's got 3 games. I think if he gets spanked to Chelsea, I think he'll walk. I think he's got. I think he needs to win 3 games. and I think he needs to win 3 games. If he doesn't, then Liverpool could be horrific. I do think I've always said, and I want to be proved wrong in this. And if I am proved right at the start of a show where I do a proper show, I'm going to play it. I'm going to find the clip and I'm going to play it. I predicted 8 points from 8, and Liverpool is the game where he gets sacked. Not because I want to be right, because that pains me to even say that. But I think, sadly, right now, if Bruno starts as an 8, it's finished. He's done and dusted. Absolutely. Rob, good evening, JB, and all the chat. Hope we're all good. Champions League football. Yeah, we got no chance. Exactly that. No, JB, I didn't mean your prediction. You said 6 or 7. That's really poor meme when people are obsessed. When it really annoying. Yeah, 6 or 7. Pump. Delit's got to be. Delit's put a paralysing Brexit tackle into him. Agree. He's lucky not to face Keane or any of them passionate players. I think the problem is there's no loyalty now, is there? They will be shaking his hand, giving him a hug and a kiss like after the game. If I see that, I mean, you just know, don't you? You just absolutely know. I know he's their mate and that kind of stuff, but I mean, he's got to get tackled out of that game. Benja being in the States is terrible. Better holding off with any gentleman bets. 3-2. Scott says 3-2. United, I think United come out with passion and Chelsea are lame. What's it like to be a Man U supporter? Crispinator 90. I'll tell you what it's like, my friend. Revenue 666.5 with no Champions League or whatsoever. Matchday income is the biggest of any club ever in the Premier League. With even though we're £1.2 billion in debt, our amortization increased, which means that our debts have increased. Our debt has increased from 546 mil up to 637 mil, and amortization and everything, including like the wage bill as well, adds it to about £1.2 million. But we're still one of the biggest clubs, even though we finished 15th. So it's terrible right now, but we're still one of the biggest draws. And how does that feel? How does that feel to know we were abjectly crap, but guess what? We probably still make more money than your club. USA hosting it might be a huge mistake. These lot were saying, don't let disgusting country. Yeah. Manu is getting Crispinator 90. Oh my god, man, you're gonna go down. Do you know how many? And again, we don't mind the banter, right? It's cool, and as long as we are respectful and you are respectful, that's cool. But do you know how many people have come on here and said, you're gonna go down this season? Like, seriously, come up with something else. Like, it doesn't pain us. Like, come up with something. Be more. If you've got banter, come on here and give us a little bit more. Give us a bit more. Something that's going to wind us up, right? But saying that we're going to go down is basically a bit like when you're at school and you basically say your mum, right? That's exactly what it's like. But every single statement that you're with your mates and you say your mum, it is literally just come out with something else. Just bring some fire. Mate, if they offered you a big managerial position in any club in the world, would you take it? And if you did, what club would it be? United. I know that sounds crazy, but I would absolutely manage this club. I'd probably fail, I'd absolutely fail, but I'm not going to lie. I would absolutely manage this club. To manage this club or be part of this club would be my dream. And if somebody asked me in terms of football stuff. If I could manage any club, I would manage this one. And that is not, it's not about success for me. It's not about the trophies. Again, it would be, I understand this club, I understand who we are, and whether or not I thought that I could get us back in, or win us a league, I'd absolutely want to come to this club, and that would be the goal. Amrin is ridiculous for taking the job. Crispinator 90, I actually agree with you. That may surprise you. I agree with you on that, and we spoke about this a couple of times when we're all saying about playing a back four and a back five. Crispinator, I agree with you. I don't understand, if they weren't going to give him his players, why he got the job and why he took the job. He should have four. He should have. Sorry, Andrew. He should have four. If that board thinks he's good day at Anfield is away, it's the best place for a new manager to start their career. I don't disagree. I think if you go to Anfield and get smashed, again, what I can see, guys, is do you know what I can see? I can see Amarin losing his job or walking, particularly now as Sir Jim thinks that this club can get into the Champions League, particularly as he's told so many lies and he's spun. This whole thing about we were going to run out of cash is a load of bollocks. It's utter fucking lie. This club makes so much cash. There's absolutely, in terms of cash, we were never going to run out of cash. So Sir Jim is a spin merchant. Sir Jim said that along the time that we were sacking people. Okay, it's a justification to sack people. So he absolutely talks out of his arse. So the fact that, and I will make a point. So the fact that he's saying that I want this team to be in the Champions League, I think he's lining Amarin up. I think he's lining him up, because if he thinks this, that there's no other reason for that Pratt to think that this club can finish in the top four. There's a reason. Everything that man says, there's a reason and there's a spin. I think they're lining Amarin up. So if he doesn't win these next 3 games, I think Amarin walks in the next break. And be warned, because I think they'll bring back one of Ollie. I think they'll bring Ollie back. I think they'll bring Carrigan. Jose is going to go to Benfica. I just be prepared. If you are Amarin out, be prepared. And if you're Ollie in, if you're Amarin in like me, just it's going to be awful. Benja says, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm just in here to be a pain in the arse. No, Benja, you are a legend of this chat, my friend. What would you say is the United way? I'll tell you what it is for me. This is my interpretation of it, right? And you can say yours. Mine is that players who fight for the fans. Above anything else, they fight for the fans. They fight for the history. To bear in mind, we had players who passed away going to a match for this club. Okay, you fight for the history, you fight for the fans, you fight for the history, you fight for yourself, you fight for your teammates, because you are going to war. It's your job. You fight for the badge. People who are brave, people who will, who are obsessed about winning, even if you don't win, as long as you give your best in every single game. The absolute the criteria and the demand at this club, for me, should be the very best. You want to win every single game. You treat every single game like it's the last game of your life. And when you run forward, you run back. You do all the simple things. You bust the gut to run forward. You bust the gut to run back. And when you're at the end of the match and you're tired, you've given you can't give it any more, and you're thankful. You're thankful because you play for this club, and you're thankful to the fans. You're thankful for the money that you've got. that's what a player is. They're humble, they are hardworking, and they are obsessed with winning. Amorim sacked this month. Michael Jordan, sadly, I think so. You like, don't know where that is. Give Amorim until Christmas. I think he needs the season. Not sure if you agree, but if I was Amorim for the Chelsea game, play Bruno in the 10, Manu in midfield, with Casemiro start Lamens and play a 4-3-3. And now, Rob, the reason why I'm not talking about formation right now, and I'm not going to like dismiss that opinion. Could that work? Yes, it could do. But Amorim is not going to change the system. So for me right now, it's a bit redundant. But please feel free to get in there. No, JB, don't boast about financials. I hope you're doing that. Ironically, oh God, mate. I am, mate. I am. It is an ironic statement because the fact that we made it, but it is still true. The fact that we are the biggest club, but the funny thing about it is we make all that money, but we're still shit. Casemiro at midfield is worthless. What's he going to do there? I don't know. Atletico have equalised against Liverpool after taking the big 2-0 hit. He be Amorim's assistant, Jamie Vargas. Is there any way we can transfer Sancho out? He's a waste of space, and whatever club would take him. Jamie, no, he's on a season-long loan. I mean, they could send him back. I'm sure that there's a clause in there that they could send him back. He's not going to go. I mean, he's just not going to go. You know, I think we've activated that extra year, but Sancho is not going to go. You know, we can't sell him. Because he can just hang on to the contract and just basically waste time and get paid. We are stuck with Sancho. I take the United job, F it around for 6 months, get sacked, and buy a small island with my payout. Excellent. Bluey Game said, respectfully, these rival fans don't know anything about our feelings or the team, even if their banter isn't great. They don't, my friend. Ahmad, mate, is not the place for that, my friend. I'd manage. Here we go. I'd manage Man City, which sounds crazy, but I would snitch on the charges and stuff, or get them relegated after spending billions on useless players. I love it. Rajat, hi JB. Hello, my friend. This 666 I'm seeing is scarring me. We keep incompetence. Why keep incompetence? Rajat, I mean, again, get your opinions in on the financials to get today. Get your feelings in. This show is your show. This is where you lead me on the topics that you want to talk about. Why keep incompetence, Rajat? We've got incompetent owners. We've got an incompetent board. We've got, a manager. I don't think he's incompetent. I think he's stubborn. Is incompetence and stubbornness verging on the same thing? Potentially. If you're a stubborn person, are you being incompetent at your job? You could probably argue that in some of the choices that he makes with players. So, and why keep it? Because I think for me, if you look at the financials today, to sack Erik ten Hag and his team cost us 36 million. So are we going to be paying around, like, maybe less this time, maybe 20, maybe? I mean, Amorim, I think, is on a slightly less deal, isn't he? So maybe it wouldn't cost that, but I think it would cost about 20 million at least. Tony Verde says, Tony, mate, it's really easy, mate. I don't know why people bother. Benfica will honestly be Jose's retirement club. Quite poetic. He started in Portugal, retires there, and then becomes a national. Yeah, I don't disagree on that. I think he will. I think he's earned that right. I think Jose, whatever you think about him, he's sort of been that manager that's been on the sort of decline. Not. I think football's changed. Since he came into the sport, people are legends in their time. Jose, was he a legend? Yeah, I think so. I think maybe has he lost that passion of a younger man, possibly. But yeah, I think it's time for him to rest easy. If we get hammered next game, I think the manager will really be in hot water and he just might walk. I agree that they might bring back Ollie as a caretaker to start with. Yeah, Rob. Again, let's see what Andrew's saying. Picture the scenes. Southgate comes in game 1 at Anfield, playing a back 12. Bruno flapping his arms at the wind, Straw cutting his foot on the grass, and taking 6 months off. Andrew, is true. It's true, my friend. It's absolutely true. If he get a draw, he'll need to leave. It's Chelsea, mate. I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, they've got a bigger squad than us. We're capable of beating them, and I think we're capable of beating them comfortably. It wouldn't surprise me if we beat them 4-0. Right? It wouldn't surprise me. But it also wouldn't surprise me if it was a 0-0. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they hammered us 4-0. So you can have a big swing. Like, all I want to be able to say is that this game is going to be a close game. It's probably going to be a draw, or we might sneak a win. I think you can just stick your finger in the air and just go, I think we're going to win 4-2. Like, you might as well. Poor people stop saying Amorim will walk. If he walks, he's dumber than the media making out. You don't walk away from 30 million when you're about to be pushed. Yeah. I do think it's fair though, Andrew, to say Amorim walks because he's offered to do it 3 times now. So when somebody tells you that they're going to walk, where I agree with you is he's basically saying, look, sack me or I'm going to walk, as in I'm going to walk, so sack me. So is it a case of Amorim is wanting Ineos to pull the trigger and he's saying he's going to walk, and he's coming out with these weird statements as well. So is he actually, as you say, he's looking to be pushed, so he's going to walk out of the club? Is probably just him saying to the club, look, sack me. You take McKeown in a heartbeat. You'd be kidding. Benja can't take him at Arsenal. JB, feed your slaves. No, they've been fed already. He's why did the snowman? I'm not reading that out. Van Dijk scores the winner for Liverpool in the 92nd minute. At least it wasn't a pen. Yeah. I'm in your dreams. Can you say a song from Adele? Fire to the Rain. What's the one about pavements? Chasing Pavements, I think. Hi. Emmy, you are cracking me up, mate. Emmy, oh my god, I just brilliant. Emmy, mate, I would excellent. Jose has to start managing international level. He can't keep up club level. Yeah, I agree. It's a hot take. Club level is way more competitive than international football, except for the World Cup. I agree. Jose is I think he's a spent force in terms of league. Capable of beating Chelsea 4-0. Is it crack that you're just making? Look, when I say you can beat, when I say that, what I mean is obviously it's an exaggeration, but United could have scored 3 or 4 against in like the very first game. So they should have scored a couple of goals against City. They should have scored a couple of goals against Fulham, eventually they're going to score goals. But it's an over exaggeration, but it wouldn't surprise me. And what I mean is that they are not going to score 4. It's an exaggeration for me. It's a case of I don't know, right? Probably going to lose, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if they went and won 3-0 and then went and lost the next 3 games. Like you just don't know what you're going to get with this side. Yeah, clickbait. Why hate Jim that much? Because Sir Jim is a snake. Sir Jim spins his club around. Sir Jim is only here for the profit. Sir Jim is a mouthpiece of the Glazers. Sir Jim kept the enemy. I cannot express this to you enough. If you are a Glazer fan, then that's fine. You still welcome here. I'm not calling anybody out. You believe in whatever you think is right. Amrin in, Amrin out. Sir Jim, you love him. You loathe him. You like the Glazers. But in my opinion, if you keep the worst thing that's ever happened to this club, they've let our club rot. We're in £1.2 billion worth of debt. That's come out today. What's there to love? What's there to love? Can we have all the trainers facing the same way, please? No. 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 Sorry. Oh, for God's sake. Hang on. Jesus Christ almighty. There we go. Here we go. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Better? There you go. Better. Better, better, better. There you go. Emmy. There you go, my friend. He told you after the final that he was also told you after that game he was emotional. Says dumb shit. That's not quote. Amrin is as useful as a chocolate kettle. Jacob 5 helped. Please, name Steve. Please hear me out. What? Okay. What's going on to replace Amarin? Who's going to replace him? I don't know, mate. I honestly, at this point, I don't know. Genuinely don't know. I think you can take your pick. I don't want him to go, and I mean, even talking about it is not something I personally want to think about. I don't know right now because I can't think that far ahead. But I'm sure the guys in the chat will just. I'm joking. I'm sorry, Jacob 5. That's cool, man. Absolutely cool. if I popped out my pet, my first instinct wouldn't be huge. Excellent. Double tap the screen, give John Barnes some likes. Exactly. Look, I will even turn the trainers round to, make people happy. That's how far I'm willing to go. Bruno blaming Euro for Foden's goal was unlike of a Man United captain. Yeah, that's what. There you go. See, vote to make United become Man City's practice squad officially. So you think United could get relegated this season? No, I don't. I mean, I know a lot of people think that, but no. I mean, you could argue. Who would? Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Who do you think? And I've got my team in my mind. Who do you think in the Premier League era is the best team to go down? I'm asking you that question. So I don't think they're going to go down, but I'm asking you who you think the best team with the sort of best players. I think West Ham, when they went down with Did they go? They went down with Lampard, Joe Cole. I don't know if Ferdinand was here. There, they went down with Glenn Johnson as well. Have a little think. Maybe Pompey. You could argue that as well. I think Roman Abramovich was a very good owner. He spent well. That's my opinion. I don't think you're wrong there. Romans. If Amrin goes, do you think the board might just go with Southgate, thinking he'll steady the ship because they've seen him do that with England? Rob, it terrifies me, but I don't disagree. I think Southgate has been on the list for quite some time. I think that big fan of Southgate. I think Sir Jim would push for that. I don't know if the fans' noise would stop that from happening, but I think you're right. I think they would look at Southgate. I do think they would. Wayne, I loved Roman, thought he was treated badly by the government. I've got 2 German shepherds. I'd be ripped. Oh, Andrew, that's hilarious. 6 minutes till FC 26. Okay, bye lads, it's 12. See you later, buddy. Tarek, if you declare, oh, honestly, what is it? What is it with people? You've got internet to hand, JB. I thought of a new thing that you could get some more views and likes. To go into Google and type in play football games, amazing content in there, single or add chat to it. Type in play football games, amazing content in there. Yeah, I am going to go into Google, type in play football games, amazing content in there, single or add chat to it. Interesting. I shall look at that. The West Ham team in 2002. Yeah. West Ham, Crystal Palace. Best team to go down was Derby County. Man United has a good manager. Trust me, you will win a lot this season. Heron Day. I hope so, my friend. I hope so. Blues, West Ham got Crystal Palace. They've conceded 16 goals. I don't want Southgate. He will be absolutely awful. What time is it there? It is 12 minutes past 10. I can play mine early. Lampard and Ferdinand were long gone from West Ham but West Ham had a great squad. Yeah, I can't remember. I've just turned something on. It's made me look a bit weird. There you go. Yeah, but I know they had a good squad though, didn't they? I can't remember who's in it now, but I know that they had a great squad. We've all seen Aston Villa. Dan Ashworth was pushing for Southgate. Apparently, it's what got him sacked. Barada and the other fella, not Ratcliffe, wanted Amorim. I really hope that Southgate is. You paid extra for play FC 26. Yes, Scott. I think I might have that as well, mate. So I might switch that on in a bit. I watched the Villa game, didn't look good. Why can you play it now? I've pre-ordered 2. That means I can play it now. I heard FC 26 career mode is much better. Scott, you should get Rashford right away. Did you get the £90 one? I got the £100 one. Got it on the 9th of August. Leeds were the biggest and best squad. Do you know what, Andrew? You're right. I think Leeds were because was it in the Champions League 2001, 2002 when they had the likes of Milner was in the squad, Viduka, Alan Smith, was it Batty was in there as well? I can't remember their entire squad, but yeah, that was a great team. That was a really, really, really good team. That's Andrew. That's a good shout, mate. My mate gives me 40. I keep perks. That's why I don't play Xbox anymore. JB, you can play at midnight. You just need to set your location to New Zealand. Nice one. I might give that a shout, mate. Bring in a new manager in. That would be the answer. I don't think so. You could look still back in square one. Because Scott, we just get scammed, mate. I remember UCL semi-final, sold all the players, then Ken Bates. Yeah, no way when Leeds went down in 2004, they had a massive debt, and most of the top players had gone by then. Because I cancelled my EA Play subscription too. Yeah. So guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to do a slightly shorter show tonight. Change it back to midnight tomorrow. Legendary. Guys, another great show. I think it's really interesting to talk about this stuff. I bring in a topic, you guys bring in the stuff, and we talk about it. The evening shows for me are the best ones. Absolutely. Makes this community fantastic. The next manager, before I go, the next manager, would you bring in a caretaker, see how he gets on, or would you just sign a new manager or on contract? Rob, I think that the problem is that then we've signed players for this system, right? I mean, you could probably argue, actually, thinking about it, probably not just yet, because I'm saying that Amrin doesn't have his players. So I think you could probably, at this point, if I was going to get rid of Amarin, now would be the time to do it, because you could get another manager in now, and if they revert back to a 4-3-3, they've still got those players. I think we've signed versatile players that could play in a system. So I think if we're going to do it, let's do it now, because the more specialist players that Amarin gets in, the more difficult that is going to be for another manager if that happens. Protest to get the Glazers out, Wayne? Mate, I absolutely would love to. I just don't think the appetite is there to do it, but I think we should. Don't stop the boats. I thought it was 12 hours early for New Zealand. Good night. For the laugh, wasn't playing. Stop there. Yeah, I said mighty red ME. So I just missed. Noonan would get your results. So guys, I'm going to go. Another good show, guys. FC 26. I'm going to do some sort of stream on that. Green Hub, yeah. Mate, respect the opinion, but this is a light-hearted show. This is a light-hearted show. Yeah, I've got to be up for work in the morning. Up early tomorrow. I have to do some client work early tomorrow. So I try and fit this in, guys. If you want me to do this longer, then you've got to get the word out. Got to get this channel as big as we can, and then I can. This could be my full-time occupation, but until that happens, I still need to put bread on the table. So guys, absolutely fantastic stream again tonight. Brilliant. As I say, every single time I do need my rest. Is that in life you can't buy time. They do, Scott, I agree with you. You can't buy time and you can't buy health. You can buy FIFA though, even though FIFA is absolutely ridiculously expensive. You can buy FIFA. But yeah, the fact that you guys spend time here, you give me time of day, you give me likes, you give me the banter, you guys interact with each other. It still blows my mind every single show. It is ridiculous. So guys, I can only thank you, and I mean it as well. You keep me entertained. Didn't John? I'm starting to fill up here. Yeah, I know. I mean it. So guys, I will. If anything breaks, I don't know what's going to break other than my Xbox. But I will see you tomorrow. I'll do another show tomorrow. I'll try and get one in at some point tomorrow, maybe two. But it really does depend. So, guys, have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, wherever you are. If you've got FIFA, give it a play. I'm watching the United Stand Real Talk facts about what we need to do. No, Lucky Singh, get out of here. You can go and watch that channel. But no, it's cool. Guys, I'll see you very soon. Cracking show, and take care. I'll see you on the next one. See you.